Good evening and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha with a daily roundup of all that's making news across India and the world. Before we go over to the headlines, Rajya Sabha TV appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. And now, let's get to the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi initiates development projects worth over 620 crore rupees in Varanasi, appeals to all to promote local products in the festive season. All set for counting of votes in Bihar tomorrow. Key contests expected between NDA and Grand Opposition Alliance candidates. Results to the by-election for Valmiki Nagar Lok Sabha seat and 58 assembly seats in 11 states also expected. Air pollution worsens in Delhi National Capital Region. Air quality touches dangerous levels in many places. National Green Tribunal bans firecrackers till the 30th of November. Union Health Minister Dr. Vardhan reviews COVID-19 situation in 9 states, lays stress on protective measures to prevent infection. Active cases continue to go down. Recovery rate goes up to 92.56%. And in the run-up to Diwali, Indian markets surge to record levels. Joe Biden's victory in US presidential election, an improvement on domestic macro front boost investor sentiment. And the top story on News Tonight, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of various development projects in Varanasi. The total cost implication of these projects is 620 crore rupees. The Prime Minister also interacted with some of the beneficiaries of these projects during the event that was held via video conferencing. More details in this report. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated development projects costing over 620 crore rupees for Varanasi.
इसी कड़ी में बनारस के विकास से जुड़े हजारों करोड़ रुपए की परियोजनाओं का लोकार्पण और शिलान्यास हो रहा है। आज भी लगभग 220 करोड़ रुपए की 16 योजनाओं के लोकार्पण के साथ साथ करीब 400 करोड़ रुपए की 14 योजनाओं पर काम शुरू हुआ है।
Praising the farmers of Purvanchal, he said, despite the COVID pandemic, they had produced bumper crops in their fields. He also asserted that agriculture reforms introduced by the government will connect farmers directly to the market and make middlemen redundant.
हाल में जो कृषि सुधार हुए हैं, उनसे किसानों को सीधा लाभ होने वाला है। बाजार से उनकी सीधी कनेक्टिविटी सुनिश्चित होने वाली है। किसानों के नाम पर किसानों की मेहनत को हड़प जाने वाले बिचौलियों और दलालों को अब सिस्टम से बाहर किया जा रहा है। इसका सीधा लाभ उत्तर प्रदेश के, पूर्वांचल के, बनारस के हर किसान को होने वाला है।
Prime Minister Modi appealed to people that along with vocal for local, they should promote local for Diwali and buy local products during the festive season. He said celebrating Diwali with local products will boost the economy.
आजकल आप देख रहे हैं लोकल के लिए वोकल, वोकल फॉर लोकल, इसके साथ ही लोकल फॉर दिवाली, इसके मंत्र को, इसकी गूंज चारों तरफ अब सुनाई देने लगी है। मेरा बनारस के लोगों से भी और देशवासियों से भी मेरा कहना है, लोकल फॉर दिवाली को खूब प्रमोट करें, खूब प्रचार करें। इससे स्थानीय पहचान तो मजबूत होगी ही, जो लोग इन सामानों को बनाते हैं उनकी दिवाली भी और रोशन हो जाएगी।
The Prime Minister said development projects that are underway in Varanasi are touching every aspect of the city and life of people of Kashi, including infrastructure, tourism, the Ganga cleanup and also farmers' welfare.
ये विकास आज अपने आप में इस बात का उदाहरण है कि बनारस कैसे एक साथ हर क्षेत्र में, हर दिशा में तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है। मां गंगा की स्वच्छता से लेकर स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं तक, रोड और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर से लेकर पर्यटन तक, बिजली से लेकर युवाओं के लिए खेलकूद तक और किसान से लेकर गांव गरीब तक, हर क्षेत्र में बनारस विकास की नई गति प्राप्त किए हुए है।
At the beginning of the event, the Prime Minister interacted with beneficiaries of these projects through video conferencing.
सारे देश में आपकी एक बड़ी परियोजना जो है कि खेलो इंडिया, उसके तहत जो एनसीओई खुल रही है, नेशनल सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस खुल रहे हैं, तो एक बनारस में भी जरूर खुल जाए, क्योंकि सारे देश में खुल रहा है तो काशी क्यों पीछे रहे भाई। तो हमारे पास भी एक खुल जाए तो बड़ा अच्छा हो जाएगा।
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath was also present on the occasion. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead India at the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation Summit that starts on Tuesday. The virtual SCO summit is its first during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Shanghai Cooperation Organisation Summit on Tuesday will be chaired by Russian President Vladimir Putin. While cooperation in the post-COVID world will be the key focus, talks will also touch upon major regional and global issues of importance. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said India is working with SCO members to meet the country's strategic needs.
On the 20th summit of the SCO Council of Heads of State, Prime Minister will lead the Indian delegation to the 20th summit of the SCO Council of Heads of State, which will be held in the virtual format on the 10th of November. And this meeting will be chaired by President Putin of the Russian Federation. This will be the first SCO summit to be held in the virtual format, and this is the third meeting that will be participating as full members.
A Moscow declaration will be adopted at the end of the summit. It will include a roadmap for cooperation among member nations. The summit will also conclude Russia's 2019-20 SCO chairmanship. India's chairmanship, that will come next, will start with a virtual summit of SCO heads of governments on 30th of November. India became a full member of the SCO in June 2017. It is a major forum for India to engage with the Central Asian countries. With inputs from Akhilesh Suman, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. The Election Commission has made elaborate arrangements for counting of votes on Thursday for the Bihar Assembly elections as the state awaits results of a closely fought election. The poll panel has set up a total of 55 counting centres housing 414 halls spread across all 38 districts. The Commission has also issued guidelines in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. Not more than 7 counting tables will be allowed in the counting halls so as to maintain social distancing. Face masks will be mandatory for entering inside the counting centres. Besides, sanitizers will be kept in adequate quantity at these counting centres. Prohibitory orders under Section 144 of the CRPC have been imposed in and around the counting centres to prevent gathering of people. Elections for the 243-member Bihar Legislative Assembly were held in 3 phases. In the first phase, 71 seats went to polls on 28th October. In the second, 94 seats went to polls on the 3rd of November, while in the third phase, 78 seats went to polls on the 7th of November. The term of the 243-member Bihar Legislative Assembly comes to an end on the 29th of this month.
कल मत करना है, इसके लिए भी पुख्ता इंतजाम है। इसमें भी भारत निर्वाचन आयोग का आदेश और इंस्ट्रक्शंस बहुत स्पष्ट हैं। हमारा काउंटिंग सेंटर और स्ट्रांग रूम जो है उसमें 3 टियर सिक्योरिटी का इंतजाम किया गया है। इनर मोस्ट जो रिंग है उसमें सेंट्रल पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स है, सेकेंड रिंग में हमारा बिहार मिलिट्री पुलिस है और आउटर रिंग में डिस्ट्रिक्ट आर्म पुलिस है।
Meanwhile, counting of votes for by-elections to Valmiki Nagar Lok Sabha seat in Bihar will also take place on Tuesday. Apart from this, counting of votes for by-polls to 58 assembly seats in 11 states will also be taken up simultaneously on the 10th of November. Voting for by-polls to 54 assembly seats in these states were held on the 3rd of November, along with the second phase of Bihar assembly polls. The states were Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Odisha, Haryana, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and also Nagaland. While by-elections for Valmiki Nagar Lok Sabha seat in Bihar and 4 assembly seats in Manipur were held on the 7th of November. The 15th Finance Commission, led by Chairman N.K. Singh, submitted its report for the period 2021-22 to 2025-26 to President Ramnath Kovind on Monday. The Commission was mandated to give its recommendations for 5 years, that is from 2021-22 to 2025-26 by the 30th of October 2020. The Commission was asked to examine and recommend performance incentives for states in areas like power sector, adoption of direct benefit transfer and also solid waste management. The Commission was also asked to examine whether a separate mechanism for funding of defence and internal security should be set up. The Finance Commission analysed the finances of each state and has recommended state-specific considerations to address key challenges. The report will be available in the public domain after it is tabled in the Parliament by the government. The Parliamentary Committee on Personnel, Public Grievances, Law and Justice held its introductory meeting on Monday. After the reconstitution of the committees, Rajya Sabha MP Bhupendra Yadav has been appointed as chairman of the committee. At the first meeting of the Standing Committee on Personnel, Public Grievances, Law and Justice 2020-21, the committee considered selection of subjects for examination during the year 2020-21. Members from the Upper House on the Personnel, Public Grievances, Law and Justice Committee are Abhay Bharadwaj, Rajendra Gehlot, Naresh Gujral, Dipender Singh Hooda, Sukhendra Shekhar Roy, K.R. Suresh Reddy, Shiv Pratap Shukla, Vivek Tankha, P. Wilson and Bhupendra Yadav. While members from the lower house on the committee include Pradhan Barua, Pradeep Kumar Chaudhary, Vinod Lakshmi Chavda, Mohan Delkar, Veena Devi, P.P. Mohammad Faisal, Jasbir Singh Gill, Chaudhary Mohan Jatwa, Raghuram Krishna Raju Kanumuru, Jyotirmay Singh Mehto, Maluk Nagar, B. Venkatesh Netha, Suresh Pujari, A. Raja, Om Prakash Bhupal Singh Rajanim Balkar alias Pavan, Upendra Singh Rawat, Sandhya Ray, Kuldeep Rai Sharma, Mahendra Singh Solanki and B. Manikam Tagore. The committee is one of the 8 standing committees being serviced by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat. Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions and Ministry of Law and Justice come under the purview of the committee's scrutiny. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. Lok Sabha's Subordinate Legislation Committee 2020-21 also held its first meeting on Monday. The committee scrutinizes and reports whether the powers to make rules, regulations, bylaws, schemes or other statutory instruments conferred by the Constitution or delegated by Parliament have been properly exercised within such conferment or delegation. Member Balashori Vallabhaneni heads this committee. The Committee on the Welfare of Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes also held its meeting on Monday. This committee is headed by BJP's Lok Sabha MP Kirit Premji Bhai Solanki.
On the agenda was the evidence of the representatives of Ministry of Finance, State Bank of India on reservation for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in public sector banks, financial institutions, Reserve Bank of India and credit facilities being provided to them by the bank, with special reference to State Bank of India. The committee consists of 30 members, 20 elected by Lok Sabha and 10 by Rajya Sabha for 1-year term. The committee examines the measures taken by the Union government to secure due representation of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in services and posts under its control. It reports on the functioning of the welfare programs for the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes in the Union territories. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
The Civil Secretariat, seat of the Jammu and Kashmir administration, reopened in Jammu on Monday. This is part of the biannual Darbar move after functioning in Srinagar during the summer season. Tight security arrangements are in place to ensure smooth functioning of the Civil Secretariat and other move offices, including the Raj Bhavan and the police headquarters in Jammu. The COVID-19 pandemic delayed the Darbar move from Jammu to Srinagar this summer. Time for a short break here, but more news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us.
Defeat coronavirus. Let us always remember, wear a mask. Wash hands. Follow physical distancing. Together, we'll succeed. Together, we'll win against COVID-19.
Thanks for staying with us on News Tonight. The National Green Tribunal on Monday imposed a total ban on sale or use of all kinds of firecrackers in the National Capital Region from the 9th of November midnight to 30th of November midnight. It clarified that the direction will apply to all cities and towns in the country where the average of ambient air quality during November 2019 was in poor and above categories. The bench, however, maintained that cities where air quality is moderate or below can sell only green crackers, and the timings for use and bursting of crackers will have to be restricted by the states to 2 hours. The NGT also directed all states and union territories to initiate special drives to contain air pollution from all sources in view of the potential of aggravation of COVID-19. And let's now take a look at the coronavirus situation in the country.
The average daily case count has remained 45,000 for about 2 weeks now. In this period, the average daily deaths remain in the 480 to 490 range. India reported 45,903 new COVID-19 infections and 490 deaths on Monday morning. For the same period, the recoveries outnumbered new cases for the 37th day, with 48,405 patients recovering from the disease. Total recoveries have now crossed 79,19,000. The total cases in the country have crossed 85,53,000, which includes 5,09,000 active cases, making it 5.95% of India's total positive cases. The total death toll has crossed 1,26,611. Delhi, witnessing its third and most severe wave of COVID-19 infections, is reporting the highest single-day increase in cases, followed by Maharashtra and Kerala with almost 5,500 cases each. West Bengal with almost 4,000 cases and Karnataka with 2,740 cases of COVID-19. Maharashtra, Delhi, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Kerala reported the highest number of deaths in the same period. Delhi's COVID-19 third wave is much bigger than the first two, with the city reporting 7,000 daily cases currently. On Monday, the national capital reported 79% of the total cases, overtaking Maharashtra and Kerala for the second time in 3 days. Delhi had earlier overtaken Maharashtra and Kerala on 7th November, also with 7,178 cases. As of now, Delhi has over 4,38,000 cases, including 3,89,000 recoveries and 6,989 deaths. According to the Indian Medical Association, 13% of this increase is estimated to be due to air pollution. Health Minister Dr. Vardhan reviewed the COVID-19 situation in 9 states, including Andhra Pradesh, Assam, West Bengal, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh, Telangana, Punjab, Haryana and Kerala, and called for COVID-appropriate behavior during the ongoing festival season.
कड़क सर्दी पड़ती है, वो वाले महीने भी आने वाले हैं और रेस्पिरेटरी वायरस है. रेस्पिरेटरी वायरस के ज़्यादा विंटर्स में फैलने की संभावना होती है. फेस्टिवल्स में लोगों के द्वारा अगर फेस्टिवल बनाते समय थोड़ी सी भी लापरवाही हुई तो हमें कोविड को कंट्रोल करने में कठिनाई हो सकती है. एक बार फिर आपके साथ बातचीत करके जो हमको आज 10 महीने के बाद लगता है कि इम्पोर्टेंट है, आपके स्टेट की दृष्टि से, देश की दृष्टि से, वो बातें जरूर एक बार फिर से हम विस्तार से शेयर करें.
India tested 8,35,000 samples on Sunday. With this, the total number of samples tested for coronavirus has crossed 11 crore 85 lakh.
And the COVID-19 pandemic hit another sobering milestone on Sunday, with global cases crossing more than 50 million or 5 crore since its outbreak in December last year. According to Johns Hopkins University, COVID-19 cases crossed 50.2 million on Sunday. There have been more than 1.2 million deaths from the disease worldwide since the pandemic began. The United States became the first nation worldwide since the pandemic began to surpass 10 million coronavirus infections as the third wave of the COVID-19 virus surges across the country. Over 2,37,000 people have died in the country so far. With about 4% of the world's population, the United States represents almost a fifth of all reported cases and has recorded about 1 million cases in just the past 10 days. A spike in COVID-19 cases is prompting countries across Europe to increase lockdown measures in an attempt to slow the spread of the virus. India and France are the worst affected countries in Asia and Europe. Coal Minister Prahlad Joshi said that 19 mines were auctioned during the commercial coal mine auctioning, which took place from the 2nd to 9th of November. The commercial auction has generated a revenue of nearly 7,000 crore rupees. Prahlad Joshi said that a total of 76 bids were received for 23 mines and 19 mines were eligible for technical bids. He said the success of the auction is around 50%, which is the highest after 2015, and he also described the response to the auction of mines as excellent.
In the auction, we have successfully auctioned 19 mines, which is highest number of successfully auctioned mines in any tranche in the coal mine auction. After 2015, there were around 10 tranche of auctions, and out of that, this is the highest one. Out of 19 mines, 11 are open cast, 5 are underground, remaining 3 are mixed, that is underground and open cast. Out of 38 mines put on auction, 19 mines were successfully auctioned. The success of the auction is around 50%.
A model of the anti-satellite missile installed inside the DRDO Bhavan premises was unveiled on Monday by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Mission Shakti was the country's first ever ASAT missile test successfully conducted on 27th of March 2019 from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island in Odisha. The successful conduct of Mission Shakti made India the fourth nation in the world with the capability to defend its assets in outer space. On this occasion, the Defence Minister appreciated the innovative accomplishment of the team of scientists. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari was also present on the occasion.
आपने देखा होगा कि हाल फिलहाल में कई ऐसी मिसाइल्स थी जिनकी की रेंज को भी बढ़ाने में कामयाबी हासिल की है और नई मिसाइल्स के बारे में भी नई टेक्नोलॉजी को इनोवेट किया है डीआरडीओ ने. इसके लिए डीआरडीओ बधाई की पात्र है.
Earlier, Rajnath Singh and Nitin Gadkari witnessed the demonstration of fire detection and suppression system for passenger buses. DRDO's Centre for Fire, Explosive and Environment Safety has developed the technology which can detect the fire in passenger compartment in less than 30 seconds and then suppress it in 60 seconds, thereby reducing the risk to life and property to a significant extent. Nitin Gadkari expressed satisfaction over the technology and wished to take it forward.
हमारे देश में बहुत से ऐसे एक्सीडेंट हुए हैं कि बस के अंदर आग लगने के कारण करीब 400 लोगों की मृत्यु हुई है. तो स्वाभाविक रूप से यह टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग करने से हम लोगों की जान बचा सकते हैं. तो पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट में ये सिस्टम जब कमर्शियलाइज होगी और नंबर बढ़ेगा तो सस्ती भी होगी और उसमें लोगों की जान की रक्षा भी होगी.
Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said on Monday that India is likely to experience a behavioral change in urban mobility in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. Addressing the 13th Urban Mobility India Conference on the theme Emerging Trends in Urban Mobility, the minister said that the future of mobility is to strive towards environment-friendly, integrated, automated and personalized travel on demand. He added that travellers should be given another private vehicle alternative, which is clean, safe, secure and affordable for all.
The COVID crisis, which presents an opportunity for us in India, we have taken the Prime Minister's clarion call for Atmanirbharta or self-reliance, and all our future efforts in developing our cities, whether it's through housing projects, whether it is for urban mobility, all of those programs put the people, our citizens first and upfront.
And on the diplomatic front, Foreign Secretary Vardhan Shringle, who arrived in Maldives on Monday, called on President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih. Shringle is on a 2-day visit to the Maldives. During the meeting, both held discussions on ways to further enhance regional trade, connectivity, economic cooperation and tourism. Vardhan Shringle assured President Solih of continued support to the Maldives in the entirety of the post-COVID recovery phase and apprised him of COVID vaccine-related developments. The Foreign Secretary also met Maldives People's Majlis Speaker Mohammad Nasheed and acknowledged his long-standing support to India-Maldives relations. Shringle appreciated the significant role he plays as Speaker of the Majlis. Earlier in the day, Foreign Secretary Shringle met his Maldivian counterpart Abdul Ghafoor Mohammed. Both apprised each other of the respective national approaches to deal with COVID-19. Benchmark indices, Sensex and Nifty on Monday hit record highs. The key indices continued their winning rally and surged more than 1.5% amid strong gains of global stocks. At close, BSE 30 share index Sensex was up 704.37 points to settle at 42,597.43, while the Nifty was up 197.50 points at 12,461. So that's it from us in this bulletin. But before we leave, we once again appeal to all our viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash hands and face regularly, and remember to maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. Good night and thanks very much for your time.